The Slender Man is an alleged paranormal figure purported to have been in existence for centuries, covering a large geographic area. Believers in the Slender Man tie his appearances in with many other legends around the world, including the Dark Man in Scotland, the Dutch Branch Man, and the German legend of the Gross Man, or the Tall Man. The Slender Man is a being male in appearance who looks like a man with extremely long, slender arms and legs. He also appears to have 4 to 8 long black tentacles that protrude from his back, though different photographs and enthusiasts disagree on this fact, and therefore it's theorized that he can contract these tentacles at will. He is described as wearing a black suit strikingly similar to the visage of the notorious Men in Black, and, as the name suggests, appears very thin and able to stretch his limbs and torso to inhuman lengths in order to induce fear and ensnare his prey. Once his arms are outstretched, the victims are put into something of a hypnotized state, where they are utterly helpless to stop themselves from walking into them. He is also able to create tendrils from his fingers and back that he uses to walk on in a similar fashion to Dr. Octopus. The superhuman stretching ability could also be seen as a similarity between himself and Mr. Fantastic. Whether he absorbs, kills, or merely takes his victims to an undisclosed location or dimension is also unknown, as there are never any bodies or evidence left behind in his wake to deduce a definite conclusion. His face is pale and slightly ghostly, and almost appears to have been wrapped in a type of gauze or cloth. His facial features are also an object of debate, and many people believe that his face looks different to each person if it's seen at all. He is sometimes wears a hat, which is sometimes a bowler, a fedora, or sometimes a top hat. He may also be seen wearing a long flowing necktie or scarf, which is either red or grey. He often keeps his long, pale hands crossed politely behind his back, or hanging loosely at his sides. His suit is black, sometimes portrayed as a pinstripe in artwork, a common misconception thanks to very similar Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas. He has long coattails which he lets flow proudly. He wears long dress shoes which are always shined a perfect, gleaming black. Much of the fascination of Slender Man is rooted in the overall aura of mystery he has wrapped him. Despite the fact that it is rumoured he kills children almost exclusively, it is difficult to say whether or not his only objective is slaughter. Often at times it is either reported or recorded that he can be found in sections of woods, and these generally tend to be suburban. He has also been reported seen with large groups of children, as many photographs portray. It's commonly thought that he resides in woods and forests and preys on children. He seems unconcerned with being exposed in the daylight or captured in photos. It is often thought as well that he enjoys stalking people who become overly paranoid about his existence, purposefully giving them glimpses of himself in order to further frighten them. For this reason, it seems like Slender Man very much enjoys psychologically torturing his victims. He also often appears to float or drift around rather than walk, which suggests the possibility of him being an ethereal being rather than a creature or a man. This would also explain why he is able to remain mobile in spite of his poorly proportioned body. Even though Slender Man was fabricated on Something Awful forums, or was he? Some people have already claimed sightings. He is seen mostly at night peering into open windows and walks out in front of lone motorists on secluded roads. His main intentions appear to be kidnapping children, as when he is seen near them in photograph, they usually disappear shortly afterwards. The Slender Man has also inspired many stories such as those of Marble Hornets. In the end, though, his purpose remains unknown. An interesting take on the Slender Man by a Pasta member who is relying on the Marble Hornet series for evidenced facts. There has been a big misconception about my pal the Slender Man due to the appearance on this article. He does not have hair or a face. Everything else is correct. There is also some questioning as to whether or not there is more than one. I find that unlikely. It's most likely Slendy f***ing with your head in order to make you think that there is more than one, which he has been known to do. As of now, Slendy has 3 or 4 known accomplices. These are Hoodie, Masky, the Rake, and possibly the Observer. Not much is known yet because of the next episode of Noah Maxwell ARG has not been released. In Marble Hornets ARG, Odie and Muskie are possibly his followers. In the Everyman Hybrids ARG, the Rake seems to be working with him, but we aren't really sure if this is true or not.